What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Rock Talk. And if you see the shirt, you know what time it is. Guys, my name is Alex Alexander, and man, do we have an awesome album to talk about today. Of course, we are kind of going to get away from the classic rock right now, and we're actually going to be talking about one of my favorite bands of all time, Pantera, Cowboys from Hell, to be exact. This album is one of the greatest albums of all time, not just in like hard, heavy, music. I'm talking like in general. The riffs, see, here's the thing. So many albums that I love, I'm really listening because I love that guitar part, or I love that singer, or I love that drummer, or that bass player, or that keyboard player. But this is the whole package. This is all four guys are putting the pedal to the metal this whole entire record. And they add just beautiful music throughout this entire project. It's unbelievable. Guys, Cowboys from Hell is their fifth. Technically, now here's the thing. It is their fifth studio album, but it is their first on a major label. This was released on July 24th in 1990. This was under Atco Records, produced and engineered by Terry Date, which they had a lot of different projects done with Terry Date. Phenomenal work. Okay, let's break down the members. So, of course, Dimebag Darrell on guitars. One of the greatest guitar players of all time, period. If you bring up a list of the greatest guitar players of all time, I'm telling you, Dimebag should be on every single one of those lists. He's so amazing, and he just makes it look so effortless, the things that he can do. He flies on that neck, and it's unbelievable, and it's inspiring, 100%. Phil Anselmo, one of the greatest vocalists to ever live. His range is insane. His passion when he gets up on stage, he's there to dominate. He's there to crush. He is so Pantera. Love Phil. Rex Brown on bass, phenomenal bass player. Literally, think about when you're a bass player, you're kind of like holding down the fort. You're kind of just like hanging in there, trying to, keeping the groove, but you're really filling in all the spaces. The thing is, Dimebag will do these, crazy bends with that whammy bar, and he'll go skyrocketing. And then there's only one guitar player in Pantera. So it's like, when you listen to the records, when you see them live, it sounds the same. It doesn't sound empty. Why? Because Rex is there filling up all that space. It's insane. It's like guys in a house, and then one guy keeps leaving, like in and out of the door, but it still stays like the house because Rex is there to, beefing it up. And then, of course, Vinnie Paul. Vinnie Paul is one of the greatest drummers also ever to live. He is just unbelievable on every single Pantera song there ever is. The stops that this band does, like the little breaks, the amount of talent in that band and in Vinnie Paul is like next to none. It's unbelievable, the things that he could do, and so diverse and so musical. There's so many heavy groups that just want to be loud, and they just want to play fast, and they just want to get out there and just, they have a lot of passion, they have a lot of energy, but the way it comes across is just like, just kind of a mess. These guys break it down and make it musical. They go into halftime, then they shoot into 3/4, and then they come back in a 4/4 rock riff. It's just like craziness. So good. Just the musicality, listening to this one record, Cowboys from Hell, or any of the Pantera albums, honestly, are amazing, and we will cover, hopefully all of them. So, talking about Pantera now, so here's the great thing. this is one of the one of the few groups that I have mentioned that are still playing. They're still out there doing it. Now, unfortunately, very unfortunately, the tragic murder of Dimebag Darrell did occur. Horrible. Nothing else to say other than it was just devastating to lose Dimebag. And of course, his brother as well, Vinnie Paul, also passed away. Tough loss. Tough to the music world. Tough to the world in general, not just musically. But, you know, I respect Phil and Rex for continuing to honor their legacy and remember them. And in my opinion, you know, so there's so many people that shoot them down. They're like, oh, it's not Pantera anymore without the two. Here's what I'm going to say. You lost two of your members. You lost two of your brothers. The legacy of them, the memory of them, the love for them is all linked to the name Pantera and the band, which you now keep alive by going out. So I am in full support that the band has decided to do this. Of course, Rex and Phil, they brought in Zakk Wylde. I mean, if you're gonna pick someone to try to fill the shoes of Dimebag, what I love, who are you gonna pick other than, I mean, Zakk Wylde is, to me, like, come on, it's freaking Zakk Wylde. Put him in there, and he's doing an amazing job, like always. What I love about Zakk is he isn't coming in there being like, oh, I am Dimebag. No, he's coming in, he's Zakk Wylde. He's playing with Pantera, and he is honoring the parts of Dimebag. And as far as Vinny goes, they got they have Charlie Benante, of course, playing for, you know, who's been playing for Anthrax. Which, first off, love Anthrax. Such a good band. And we are, by the way, we're totally going to be doing a series about the big four of metal, thrash metal. We're going to totally break all that down, and we're going to go through what's the best album. We're going to do shootouts and everything. It's going to be so awesome. But, you know, having Charlie on the drums here, another situation where he's honoring the parts and the legacy of Vinnie Paul. He is doing an excellent job. An excellent job. And these guys are on the road now. Phil is sounding great. You know, the band isn't having their drug problems. They're not having their issues. They're just out there crushing it every night, bringing, you know, happiness and love to arenas around the world. So I'm so happy about it. The crazy thing is, there was so I grew up in Chicago, and in Chicago there's an arena there, and which was called Hollywood Casino Amphitheater in Tinley Park. Which, that is, you know how, like, you know, when people grow up and they're just like, you know, musicians, they're like, oh man, you know, one day I would love to play like Wembley Stadium, or they'd love to play, you know, just like the big Madison Square Garden, you know, like huge names. Well, believe it or not, this place, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, is where I kind of, you know, sort of grew up musically also. I went to so many concerts. I've seen everyone there, man. I've seen everyone from like Santana, Joan Jett, the Doobie Brothers, Lynyrd Skynyrd. I've seen Slipknot more times than a human probably should. I've seen like everyone. I mean, the list literally goes on and on and on and on. I've seen so many groups there, and it is just my favorite venue. Now it's called Credit Union 1 Amphitheater in Tinley Park, but it's the same place. And yeah, actually Pantera is going to be playing there July 19th. Amazing. So if you're in Chicago area, head on over, see Pantera. But in general, this band is so amazing and so musical, so talented, so gifted, so powerful. Their message is awesome. They come out there and they're ready to rock at all times. This is just one of the albums. Of course, I could go down and talk about. First off, right off the bat, Cowboys from Hell is also the first song on the album. Ends up being one of their biggest songs of all time. There's so many songs on here. I mean, Primal Concrete Sledge is insane. Cemetery Gates. I mean, this is one of those albums where it feels like a greatest hits. It's another one of those situations, and I've mentioned that in a couple of my other videos, where it's just like instantly, you're just like, oh my God, you have this album and you have the whole Pantera sound. You really do. I mean, the cool thing about Pantera too is like every single album got heavier and heavier and heavier. Like it gets like pretty crazy. Like when we get into stuff, which we will, but when we get into this right here, some like Southern Trendkill stuff, this is like heavy. But we'll get here. We'll get to all the Pantera records in time. But yeah, guys, if you do not have this album, go to your local record store. I cannot stress how awesome it is to go into your local record store, walk in there, flip through the vinyl, and pull out the one that looks great. Sometimes you're going to pull out stuff that you came in there looking for. Like you come in and look for this album. Sometimes you just see this cool album cover and you're like, what's that? Let me get it. And you listen, you try it that way. There's a lot of fun and a lot of ease listening to music on streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that stuff. That stuff is easy. But there is that feeling of physically owning the music that you love. It almost links to your own identity. I believe in this so much. I bought it. I love it. I take care of it. I listen to it, And there's such a warmth that comes out of vinyl that you really do not get in an MP3 file. It's just the truth. So, if you like, so I know we covered a lot. This is a longer video, but if you like this kind of video, please comment. Let me know. And we're going to keep on, if you have, if there's albums you want me to go talk about, if there's things in the world that you want me to discuss. Obviously, the huge Ozzy thing, and of course Black Sabbath just played literally today, I believe. I'm going to check into that, but there's a lot happening in rock today. While it is not necessarily on your pop radio anymore, rock is so strong and so alive, and it's right here, baby. Folks, this has been another wonderful episode of Rock Talk, and I'll see you in the next one.